Hey guys, it's Sega Camp. Welcome back to Segatalks, everybody. I think I forgot something here, guys. Give me one sec. Get this Hangout toolbox booted up. Sega Camp Gamer of Segatalks. I think that's what it was. Close enough, I guess. Oh yeah, that's perfect. That looks perfect. Just keep that like that for the rest of the stream. Yeah, but everybody, welcome to Segatalks. No, we don't need a seizure warning this evening, Arb. We're not playing Zelda 2 anymore. Thank God for that, guys. Yeah. I did not have a very good cast yesterday when I went back to Twitch streaming again. Well, I didn't take a break or anything, though. I still having my weekly Twitch cast and everything. Though this week, though, kind of sucked for me. I was trying to finish off Zelda 2, get to the Great Palace, and then finish the game. I was trying to hope that I could wrap up the game this week. I could not make it to the Great Palace. And you know what the messed up thing is? I have already done it once on the Wii Virtual Console, the Wii U Virtual Console. I downloaded the game off the Wii U, and I made it to the Great Palace, and I did at least get to the Great Palace, but I could never complete it because it was such a great big fucking maze to get through, and I just hated everything about it. In the end, though, I decided now, though, I'm just going to wrap up my Zelda 2 and not finish the game and just go right on to Zelda: A Link to the Past randomized now, guys. Yep. Now, just in case people see my Legend of Zelda Let's Play, though, or my Legend of Zelda randomized Let's Play, apparently this time, though, we won't be able to play as different characters for this Link to the Past randomizer. When I did the Legend of Zelda, I changed it up the sprites, so instead of being Link, like in the normal NES game, I ended up being the princess instead. And the historical thing is, at the very end of the game, when you get to Ganon's dungeon, when you usually save the princess, I ended up saving Link instead. And then the text was changed, so it said the heroine of Hyrule. I'm thinking to myself, wow. At least I got that right.
Yo, Sega.
Beers, welcome.
What's going on?
Not much.
Liking the suit, buddy. As always.
Yep. Gotta get the suit.
Looking snazzy.
Yes. As always.
So what are we talking about tonight?
Well, basically early 4th of July stream. I don't have really much to talk about. My Twitch cast kind of sucked that I had yesterday.
Yeah.
Because I went to play Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. And now I never beated Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. And there's always like the seizure-inducing death screen every time you play the game. So that's one of the reasons. Well, I don't know, I don't have them, I don't get seizures that easily playing the game, so I can still play it.
Mm-hmm. Well, happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July, Sega. I celebrated mine last weekend. It was pretty good.
But yeah, now this week, though, I'm planning to go play out a Link to the Past randomizer. You ever played Zelda: A Link to the Past?
It's been a long time since I played Zelda, but I have played.
Well, this is a randomizer that I'm doing, though. It changes up, so instead of whatever treasure chest you open, you get like a random item in the game. Usually at the start of the game, you usually start off at the very start of the game, though, you usually start off with the chest in your house, and usually it always ends up being the lantern. Sometimes, though, that may change, so you might have the Zora flippers, or maybe it'll troll you and you'll end up getting rupees instead. Or maybe as well, though, you may get one of the 3 special medallions in the game.
Oh, speaking of trolling, Sega, someone said I interrupted your stream. I was invited, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I just wanted to clear that up.
I did invite him, guys. And I invited Anthroplugs and Sega my house. Anthroplugs.
So I'm not trying to interrupt anyone. I just wanted to come by and say that I wasn't interrupting. And, since Sega's always on my stream, I thought, I'd come by and say hello on Sega's.
Yeah. They're saying really random stuff right now about you in the chat, but I'm not going to bother saying it.
Oh, I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are. It's okay, though. I don't care, because usually it's not true, Sega. And
yeah, I know. Basically, you just get a good laugh and then shake it off.
I do have a good laugh because they have absolutely no lives, and they make stuff up about me. And apparently, I'm interrupting your show and da-da-da-da-da. So, I mean, if it gets too bad, Sega, I really don't want to disrespect your show. So, if it gets too bad, I'll go. But I wanted to thank you for letting me come on.
Yeah, no problem.
You're a good guy, buddy.
Problem. Oh, yeah. What's next? Well, I kind of I never got the roaming legendaries in Pokemon Crystal, and they're being a major pain in the ass.
So, Sega, how are you going to celebrate the 4th of July, buddy? Any ideas?
Well, I've already celebrated, well, I don't live in the U.S., I live up in Canada, and we had a Canada Day just a few days ago. We always have Canada Day July 1st, and get this, Fears, this year marks the 150th celebration of Canada. They had this thing going around saying Canada 150 since February.
That's pretty awesome.
I haven't seen an advertisement for Ontario 150, the province I live in. That is awesome.
Sega, I do find it hilarious that you're celebrating the 4th of July and you're from Canada. I thought that was hilarious, but I'm like, hey, you know what? Sega's doing his thing. Go
but
for it.
I figured though I should try and celebrate the U.S. holiday as well.
Go for it, Sega. Why not? I think the better question is, why wouldn't you do that? Just do your own thing, man.
Yeah.
Your own thing, buddy.
Yeah, I could do that as well. I wish I had some of this Toblerone. Guys ever had Toblerone? How about you, Fears?
No, I can't say I have, buddy.
It is good stuff.
What is it?
What is it?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's obviously some food, but like I've never heard of it, Sega. What is it?
It's chocolate.
Oh, okay. Well, I've had chocolate before. What is that? Is it a chocolate that they sell in Canada?
Not really. They do sell. I'm pretty sure they sell this stuff in around the world. Look at this, Fears.
Oh, I've never heard of it.
It was made in Switzerland.
Okay.
But even interesting, Fears. Look at the shapes up very close. Can you see the letters?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. Tobone. If you ever do get like the full thing though, they'll spell out the word Toblerone on both ends.
And what's this chocolate called, Sega?
Toblerone.
Oh, nice.
Come on, Fears. I just said that a minute ago. Get your head. You should remember
sorry,
this.
buddy. I'm tired. I had to do a double shift today. I've been at the office since 9 in the morning, and now it's like 8 something here in America. So
I understand. You're in a different time zone than me. It's already after 9:30 here.
Yeah, it's 8:40 here. So I apologize, buddy. It's been a long week. Plus,
I understand.
Plus, Fears had some nice cold drinks over the weekend, and I took one of my buddies that had never went to a strip club. I took him to the strip club. He's like, Fears, I never went. I was like, oh yeah? I'm like, well, let's go, buddy. That was hilarious, Sega, because I had to teach him all the rules. He was like, well, Fears, do I do this? Do I do that? I'm like, you don't do anything. I'm like, I'm like, you just sit there and you watch and have a good time. I'm like, if you do anything, then me and you will be sitting in a jail cell. So I'm like, just don't do anything unless the girls offer. I'm like, don't touch anyone, don't do anything. He was so nervous, Sega, but we got through the night. It was pretty funny.
Okay, that's good to hear.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I understand why he was nervous because, if you've never went, the first time I went, I was like 18, I think, 19. So my older buddy
on YouTube was 10 years ago. I was 18 at the time.
There you go. Sega, I'm telling you, man, you've never went. When Fears comes to Canada, I'm taking it. That would be absolutely hysterical.
Awesome. I'll do this like a pro.
Just picture the great Sega camp going in there with a shirt and tie and going, oh, hey, ladies, what do you think? All right. Sega, I joke.
Sexy as hell.
Sega, I'm joking. I mean, if you ever did want to go, I would take you, but, I'm not you to go. So, yeah. No, it was a pretty good 4th of July. That was pretty nice.
Well, that's good to hear. Wait, what's it down there? I thought it's July 3rd.
Well, usually, but I had to celebrate it early, Sega, because actually on July 4th I'll be working, so.
Oh.
I just decided, me and my family, to celebrate it early. Normally, people celebrate it the weekend before because normally people have to work on that day. Normally, I mean, some people take the day off, but I can't take the day off. So, but yeah.
Okay.
But it was still fun nonetheless. Had a barbecue with some friends and family. It was good.
Well, that's good to hear.
It was pretty nice.
Yeah, and I finally got myself some more beer as well. It was torture.
It was the what?
I went on Thursday, bought myself some more beer, and I've been soaring for like the last few days, going up until a Twitch cast, and I've been having very sorrowful arms.
Well, what beer did you get?
Olsen Canadian.
Okay, I've never had
over there.
I've never had that kind, Sega, but sometimes Fears. Sometimes
they're saying used to be I am Canadian.
Well, sometimes some types of beers, Sega, will agree with you, and sometimes type of beers won't agree with you. So whatever beer that doesn't hurt your stomach, go with that one. Because evidently you drank that one.
I used to have Coronas, but everyone always insulted me because I said, "Oh, you're drinking Mexican piss," and then that's when I decided, okay.
Well, hey, there's nothing wrong with a Corona, man. I enjoy a Corona every once in a while.
Oh yeah, and that's what Dominic Toretto would always drink to in the Fast and the Furious movies. He's always drinking a Corona.
Oh yeah, that's right. He would drink that.
I remember the first movie. He got right. Brian would take him back to the house, and then he asked him if he wants a beer. Brian would say sure. Goes inside the house, and then he comes back with 2 beers, saying you can have any brew you want as long as it's a Corona.
Well, see, it's been such a long time since I've seen those movies, Sega. But yes, I do remember that scene because I think he grabs his.
At least, do you remember the finale though of the movie when the 2 guys race for like the railroad tracks and then the train is coming and they just finally jump the railroad the last second when the train was like beside them and they just missed the train. Like the train is like right here and the train zips right by and they just missed the train.
Sega, I just want to go on record that I would never insult you. Someone said, I wish Fears would stop insulting Sega Camp. That there's a difference
I was
between.
gonna go finally. I was gonna wait till you left, and then I would just say, "Nah, Fierce did not insult me the least bit at all."
I was not insulting you, Sega. I love it. Of course, another lie that they want to put on me. There's a difference between joking around, which I was joking around, and someone. Like insulting someone would be like, "Hey, Sega, you can kiss my ass. You're an idiot." Like that's insulting somebody. If I'm joking around and you're laughing and I'm laughing, then obviously we're just joking around. So I was just joking around, Sega. Like I have you on my show all the time. I think you're a great guy. You're a good friend. You're a good buddy. So absolutely, you're a really good guy.
Yeah. I guess, like I said before, going back to Zelda 2, though, I could never finish the game. And like I said, I find that weird considering, though, I played it already on the Wii Virtual Console. I have it on the Wii U, and I could get to the Great Palace.
Are you pretty good at that game, Sega?
Well, this is the thing, Fears. No, I never finished the game, but the furthest I got, though, at least, was the Great Palace. The Great Palace, like I said, though, it's like a great big maze. You think of it for most of the Zelda games, though, the first and A Link to the Past were like an overhead view, where you had the top-down view, you could see everything right from above, and then you would just be going like up, down, left, right, basically.
Yeah.
Well, Zelda 2, they went a different format though, where it was mostly side-scrolling. You would like the overhead map though. You would still go up, down, left, right, but then there'd be these little cookie cutter enemies that would show up, and when one of them touches you, you would go into like a battle screen where you just have to go walk to the left or right to exit out of that screen.
Well, the only reason why I asked Sega is because it's been such a long time since I've played not only that game, but it's been such a long time since I've played like any video game. So sometimes when you ask me video game questions, I'm like, I wish I could answer, Sega, but I don't really recall that game because I haven't played games in a while.
Yeah.
But someone was asking Sega when the next Sega Camp Gamer Part 4 is. I'm hoping that we're going to do the Part 4 interview this weekend. If not this weekend, maybe next week sometime, hopefully. I hope. I've been just crazy busy.
Right? I somehow have a save state of the Sixth Palace. Now the only comparative differences I can tell you though, Fears, is comparing the game right from the NES game to the Famicom. All the temples in the Famicom are either white or light blue, but the NES game though, they changed it all the temples to be a different color palette, just to make every temple feel different and have a different feeling, a different vibe or whatever.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Sega. I'm yawning. I don't mean to yawn in your show. I'm sorry. I'm just very tired.
That's okay. I understand.
I had a lot of paperwork to do today.
Yeah, it's been a long day for you. I understand. Before I done my show, guys, I was with the parents today as well, so I wasn't really here at the house at all. At least for like most of the afternoon.
You were celebrating 4th of July with your parents? That's cool.
It's still the 3rd, though, here. Like I said, it's just early 4th of July for me.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, most people in America, Sega, they don't actually... I mean, some people celebrate on the actual 4th of July, but if they have to work, like me and all...
Ever seen the movie Independence Day Fears?
Yeah, I've seen that. What I'm trying to say is, Sega, is most people celebrate the 4th of July festivities, like, that weekend before, because... A lot of people have to work on the actual 4th of July, like I do and all my buddies. That's why I was saying, hey, I bet he's celebrating early.
Yeah, of course. I'm sure if I lived in the U.S., I would probably be celebrating it early, though, as well. Would not be a surprise.
Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of people celebrate it on the 4th of July. It's just, it depends on your schedule.
Yeah, of course. Depends how things play out for me.
You got any big plans? Like, are you going to do actually anything on the actual 4th of July?
Probably not. I'm probably going to be working. Because I do live in Canada.
Sega, as soon as you get out off of work, it's a perfect time to crack open a beer. And as my brother would say, get bonged up.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I miss my British brother, man. I don't know where he is. Like, he'd be like, my British brother, I'm going to bong up.
Other than again...
Oh, Lord. Oh, he's cracking open a beer now. Right on. This is great. Sega's like, oh, yeah, beers? Check this out. Goes to the fridge, cracks open a beer.
And everybody...
There you go, Sega.
Here's to you.
Cheers, Sega. That's awesome. See, Sega, the only problem with this is that then they're going to be like complaining like, oh, God, fears like encouraged Sega to get drunk. Ooh. I just know. Yeah. I can hear it now. So fears can't win. I can't win, Sega. I just laugh about it. It's great.
Yeah, just laugh about it and then shake it off. That's all you need to do.
Sega, I don't even care anymore. But
just play the song Phil Collins. I don't care anymore. You'll feel much better.
Well, actually, it's kind of funny, Sega, because I never thought in a million years you'd just get up and like just go crack open a beer. But I saw your fridge like way off in the distance, and I was like, we'll see if he actually will do it. And then all of a sudden, Sega's like, oh yeah, Fierce, watch this. He just gets up and grabs a beer. And I was like, all right, well, have at it, Sega. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, like I said. Now, I kind of wish, though, I finished Pokemon Crystal, because right now, though, I'm just trying to do the Elite Four. But before I do that, I'm trying to get the legendary Pokemon Ho-Oh. And for Pokemon Crystal, they had to pull off a troll effect. They have to pull off a troll where I have to capture the roaming legendaries to get Ho-Oh. I hate that. In Pokemon Silver and Gold, as long as you have the clear belt, you are pretty much set to go battle Ho-Oh at the top of Tin Tower. You have to get like the roaming legendaries and then climb the Tin Tower. Suicune, though, if you get Entei and Raikou, though, and keep wondering where's Suicune, you could just find Suicune the moment you walk into the Tin Tower. The fight will start right off the bat with Suicune once you walk into the Tin Tower.
Sega, somebody said, did Sega crack open a beer? He did. He did crack open a beer, and he's enjoying it.
And Joey says, we like drunk Sega. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Again, here's to you.
There you go. I never said people were going to say that, Sega. I just predicted. I was like, oh, God, here we go. I'm like, now they're going to be like, oh, beer's got Sega drunk. Not that anyone did say it.
No one's saying that yet.
Just give it about 5 minutes, Sega. But I'm trying to stay positive, so I wasn't putting that into anyone's words, so we'll just keep
yeah, I know.
I'm trying to keep it as positive as possible with these people.
Yeah, I know.
It's like half and half, Sega. People love fears, and then people hate fears, so it's a love-hate relationship.
Since you never played games in a long time...
It's been a while. I think the last game I played...
Last year, though, sometime around the end of last year, just when Christmas holiday was arriving, Nintendo released this NES Classic Edition. Have you ever heard of that?
I can't say that I have, Sega. The last game I played, it was about 7-8 months ago.
Well, they tried to remake the whole NES system again, and the thing was like so small that you could like put it in your hands and then just hold it like that.
I know. But it was going to
be like a plug-and-play console with HDMI. You plug it into your TV, and it came in built in with like I think like 20 NES classic games on it, and you could save state on them and play them, and you could save and load the save states on the game whenever you wanted. Lots of awesome stuff.
Sega, I did hear that they're trying to bring back the Super Nintendo because I saw something.
Yes. I was about to get to now that Nintendo now is this September. Nintendo is planning to re-release it, but do the same thing yet again now with the Super Nintendo.
Yeah,
and they're also having an unreleased game on it called Star Fox 2. I actually played a little bit of it on my Twitch cast yesterday. The game looked a little incomplete to me, but I would not be surprised if Nintendo gave it finally finished up finally made it a much more completed game.
Well, the only reason why I brought that up is a couple of days on Facebook, my buddy was like, "Hey, Fears, did you hear this?" And I was like, "Hear what?" And he said, "Oh, hey."
My sister even notified me, and I told her that they were planning Nintendo was also planning to bring back the Star Fox 2 game for it as well.
Yeah, my friend told me on Facebook a couple of days ago. He's like, "Hey, Fears, did you hear that they're bringing back Super Nintendo?" And I was like, "I didn't hear that." And he sent me a link.
Now, I would get Super Nintendo Fears, though, because I never did grow up with Super Nintendo, but if I did own one back in the day, I would have had it just for Super Mario World and Donkey Kong Country.
Oh man, Super Nintendo was my shit. I used to waste hours.
Oh, I would enjoy it just for Super Mario World. That's the only game. Traveling around the dinosaur island here, that
I remember. Sega, you have no idea how many hours I wasted in front of the TV playing Donkey Kong and Super Nintendo games. It was great.
Yeah, you know that's from, right?
Me and my friends used to come over and just have hour-long sessions of Super Nintendo games.
Yeah, I'll probably give more attention for Super Mario Kart if I did play it back in the day. I did not really like it just because you had to use coins every time you had to get an item, which I thought was a little dumb.
Sega, I'm trying to remember the games that I did play a lot. I remember I played Super Mario World a lot. There was this game
I'm familiar with Street Fighter. Remember Capcom Street Fighter?
Yeah, I remember that one. And I also used to remember playing a lot. It was Wile E. Coyote and the Road Runner. And it was you're the Road Runner and Wile E. Coyote was
or as well what about Killer Instinct? Get over here.
That one I don't remember.
Okay. It's much more better. They give you the option to either. Well, the game was also made for the Genesis. So if anyone asks you, Firza, which version to play, the Super Nintendo or the Genesis version, tell them Genesis version all the way because there's a code to unlock the blood. The Super Nintendo game, they took out the blood. But when the sequel, although if someone starts asking to Killer Instinct 2 and 3, though, Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis, just tell him Super Nintendo because he could, at least the blood is in the game.
Well, Sega, I do remember this wasn't on Super Nintendo, but I remember as a kid playing a lot of Jurassic Park on Sega and playing Mortal Kombat. I used to play that religiously.
Sega! Did the T-Rex just say Sega? Sega!
Yeah, that Jurassic Park game, Sega, was my shit. I used to play that all the time.
Yes. That's what I thought was funny. That was from the Angry Video Game Nerd, the Spielberg's episode. He was doing all these Steven Spielberg movie-based games, and when he went to Jurassic Park, though, he played one on Sega Genesis, and the T-Rex just says Sega to him.
Now, Sega, is that the thing? Sega, is the angry video game nerd? Is that the same guy that does those board game reviews? Because I've watched a few videos.
Yes, it's the same guy.
Okay.
And here's another fun fact. Back then, though, when the Angry Video Game Nerd first started, he was actually called the Angry Nintendo Nerd. He only focused on Nintendo games back then, and he still does today. But he does have but now he is trying to review stuff that was also on the 3DO. A console I never heard of, TurboGrafx 16, which I only had an uncle that actually owned a TurboGrafx 16. And even all these other consoles that I probably never ever heard about ever in my life.
Oh yeah, that Angry
the Philips
video
CDI. He reviewed the terrible Zelda games for the Philips CDI and actually gave them some justice.
So much crap.
And finally, I actually argued about them to greatest lengths that I'm just thinking to myself, yes, this guy is my hero. He's reviewed them so I don't have to play the Zelda Philips CDI games.
Well,
there was even a crappy Mario game called Hotel Mario, and the game was really bad, too.
Well, Sega, you know what's so crazy about that guy is whenever he's doing his show or whenever you see his like house or the apartment or whatever he's in, he's got so much like board games, video games, DVD. I mean, he's got so much crap, and he's got like everything a nerd would love. I mean, everything.
Like
I mean,
exactly.
he's got it like cataloged. He's got it cataloged. Old video games, old computer games, old board games. It's just so much shit. I mean, it's cool, but I didn't think anyone could have that much shit. And that guy has got a lot of shit.
And just in case, though, he does a review of a bat, and just in case he doesn't play good games, though, he does do this James and Mike Monday thing where James and Mike actually just sit down and then play a video game together. They went through Metroid 2 Return of Samus and finally beat it the entire game. It took them 2 parts, though.
Oh, okay. Well, Sega, it's been a pleasure, buddy. I got to take off. I got a security walk. It's my last. I can get out of here. But I appreciate it. And I guess, guys, if you're interested, look forward to me and Sega. Hopefully we can do the 4th interview, Sega, this Saturday, if not this Saturday, depending on how busy my schedule is, because I do have some plans already. But hopefully I'm thinking maybe
if
after.
If not this Saturday, we could try and set up something for next week.
Exactly, yeah, because I was thinking, well, if my plans this Saturday don't go too long into the day, I could probably squeeze Sega's interview after my plans. But if not, well, then we'll do it next week. But thanks, Sega, so much for letting me be on the show, buddy. And have a good rest of the show. And hey, guys, don't forget to subscribe to FearsMan26 on YouTube. What? Thanks, Sega.
Yeah, see ya.
All right, later, buddy.
Yep. And Fears just finally left, guys. Hopefully you kill yourself. Come on, guys. Fears at least is good in my book. Come on. You know what, Joey? I guess I'll squeeze you in here. I don't have too many other people coming on the show tonight if you want to hang out. Just don't say anything bad about Fears. I'll bring you on, Joey. Just don't say anything bad about Fears. I just had him on here just to talk, and now he's gone. We're just having a friendly conversation, guys. So, since Canada Day was this entire weekend, I haven't really been busy posting up the cartoon acapellas. I just didn't bother posting up anything this weekend. So, the weekend was pretty quiet for this channel, though. Although I am back now re-uploading. I posted up the intro to Rupert today. And hopefully, if I keep on doing a daily process, I should be done by this Sunday when my Twitch cast rolls around again. Steven, I haven't really noticed the feud between me and Termina escalating yet. But then again, though, I haven't really been on Twitch to see if Termina has been talking shit about me, so I don't know. I'm quickly going to go on there right now and actually look right on this monitor over here, guys. Just give me a minute. See if he said, see if he talked, see if he ended up saying something, said some shit about me. So far it seems to be quiet on the Western Front, guys. Maybe it might just be, the calm before the storm.
Stay tuned to Galaxy News Radio.
I'm still a little steamed that I couldn't get finished Zelda 2, though, guys. Like I said, I really wanted to, show myself completing that game, but goddamn, it's goddamn hard. I wanted to show myself making it to the end of the game and fighting Shadow Link, because I seen the Angry Video Game Nerd played it. I seen some Call Me Johnny review the game and actually make it to Shadow Link at the very end of the game. And I give props to my good fellow caster Muta Warrior, because I saw him get to the Great Palace on Famicom as well.
Shout out to Macho.
Oh, Macho 22100.
Shout out to Macho.
Yeah, I have to agree, Arb. It is hard. But then again, though, I also tried playing Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse. I couldn't even get past the fucking level I was trying to do. I had to start over a new game again, which kind of hurted me, because as well, though, I also like collecting the extra characters along the way. It's always good to have a buddy with you going through the whole game. Although, then again, though, the Angry Video Game Nerd and Some Call Me Johnny, they both reviewed the game, and the nerd actually hated the game. I remember the nerd about reviewing the game and actually getting really fucking pissed off, and then right afterwards, he's like, "This fucker's got no mercy. This is why Game Genie was invented, but I'm not doing that." So where's that famous help? Where's that famous extra lives code? And then he finally puts in the name as "Help Me." Put your name as "Help Me," and you finally get 10 lives. That's where I got that first from, the Angry Video Game Nerd. Some Call Me Johnny, on the other hand, though, he reviewed the game, and he did say that the game did suck as well. Although he did add in, although he also added in a comparison, though, to what it would look like on the Famicom, and he actually had nothing but good stuff to say about the Famicom port. Just the music was actually better on the Famicom. So he did the ratings for, I think he gave the NES game a 7.5 out of 10, and the Famicom port at 8.5 out of 10. Or I have to rewatch the episode again just to find out what he rated the games. I'll quickly do that right now. You'll just hear a little bit of the video just playing, though. Yeah, all right, here we go. Right about here. Yeah, like Some Call Me Johnny, though, he actually had nothing but good stuff to say about the Famicom game. Like, he said that the game was a little more balanced out than, unlike the NES game, where they tried to make it excruciatingly hard. They made the Famicom port actually a much more balanced out game, which makes me scratch my head and say, why wasn't the NES game like this? Oh, the Wonder Woman thing? Oh, I moved her now, guys. She's like right over here.
Do something with it.
Yeah, I moved her all the way over here, guys. She's sitting over there right by that window. She still is here. You see me, Sniddles?
Oh, God, what are you doing there?
Right over here, guys.
I like the single. You should keep it.
She's right over here, guys. She's right over here.
You should keep it here at the single. I like it. No.
Sorry, guys. Not tonight. Sorry, Sneddles. Sneddles. Hey, are you at least a little happy that I used you again in Pokemon Crystal? Well, that was freaky. I just looked out this window and I just saw, like, it was a car, guys. It was just a car. But it looked like something different was there a minute ago. I think your fridge turned into a TV.
TV toy.
Why am I dressed up tonight, Horrible Harry? I always do this for Segatalks. I always pull out the suit and start wearing it, trying to be just, kind of doing like what Tommy did, but it's Tommy Talks, guys. You guys know, though, I always am you guys have seen Tommy Talks. You see how Tommy always wears a suit. I thought I would do the same for me as well. At least Tommy, though, goes out the way to have a fedora on his head, but sadly, I don't really have something like that. I'm actually pretty fine though without the fedora either. Though, guys, I just like to let the hair flow. Not from Goodwill. I actually went to Marshall's, Horrible Harry. I went to Marshall's. I had the button-up shirts like I used to wear on Tommy Talks, but I decided to go get some ties. And some jackets. I first got the jackets first, and then I went back a week later and got myself some ties to go with the button-up shirt. So that's how all this about. So that's how all this about. This is how I got all this stuff. I put my budget, my well-earned money to good use back in I think it was like April or May when I just started doing this. I think it was May. I remember by the end of May, I remember by the very end of May, I was just slowly just trying to get along with whatever I had left in my bank account because I was running low on some money. So there you go, Horrible Harry. Something about me. I'm just tonight sitting back, relaxing, probably having a beer, maybe having two, guys.
Beer 6.
See Sega getting him drunk out of his ass, and probably by the very end of the night, I'm going to be laying on the floor, passed out.
You're going to have a beer 6.
I'm not drinking 6, though. I am not going back to that attempt ever again, guys, where I drank it almost like 5 and almost caused a ruckus. I almost got myself kicked out of my own room, guys. That's one thing I do not want to go back to.
He slapped his landlord in the face.
No, just somebody warned me, though, that I should try and tone it down. So that's what I did. I just toned it down after that, and I know after that, and I know eventually I cut the cast pretty short and went right off to bed after that. And like I said, by the time when I went off to bed, I felt like I was not like myself at all. Like I said before, out of body experience, but basically, I just was not myself. That's something, guys, I do never want to go back to. Whoa, who do I hear having sex all the time, Steven?
Your neighbors above you.
Well, actually, you know what, though? I better clarify something, though. There's only one lady who lives up there, guys. Now, I did say, though, I always heard some really awkward sounds of sex or something like that. Mostly it's just moaning, though.
Oh my.
But yeah, I think when I'm like going to bed around like 1 or 2 in the morning, she has like some stupid sex tape on, and I'm always somebody keep hearing it upstairs. One night I actually caught her in the act, though, guys. I was like sleeping as usual, and I heard the noises, and I got so angry. I yelled up there, "Get the freaking thing down!" And she finally toned it down after that. She just turned down the volume down off the TV. I could hear less of it that time. I could still hear it, but less this time.
You might have to go give her a visit. So you think.
So yeah, like I said, one night I'm like laying in bed, I'm trying to get to sleep, and I hear the sounds of moaning again, and I'm like, I finally burst out yelling, "Just kick the freaking, turn the damn thing off!" And she finally, that was like enough to alert me, like, oh crap, maybe I better turn the volume down.
You have to go up and show her your Donkey Kong. Your Skyward Sword. Give her the Skyward Sword so you can. Well,
Steven, I was not feeling turned on, but I did find it a little annoying. That's why I ended up yelling up there just for her to turn it off. And look, I would never have sex with a woman while I was playing Mario. Are you out of your mind, buddy? I would never do that.
You're gonna give her your Master Ball.
So, I've already said this before. I'll be playing Zelda Link to the Past this Sunday now, guys. I'm gonna be playing Link to the Past randomized. No sprite change, I'm afraid. This randomizer was set up to still be playing Link beginning to end. Oh, was it you about Joey, or was it somebody else that someone said it should just be the sprite of the Master Sword, and every time you use the sword, it should be Link popping out?
That was me.
I thought that was funny. Someone actually said, though, that they should set that up so it's the sprite of the Master Sword, and every time you use the sword, like every time you slash the sword, though, it should just be Link instead of a action of the sword.
You need to play Mario as missing randomizer.
What?
You need to play Mario as missing randomizer.
Or someone actually mentioned about another. Someone did mention, I think, like a Zelda 2 randomizer. I think, or I know someone mentioned another randomizer. I forget what it is now. I should go back and rewatch it.
Randomizer.
What?
Sonic Adventure randomizer.
Sonic and Mario randomizer.
Adventures. Sonic Adventures randomizer.
I've been living my life like it was all a lie.
After that, Minesweeper randomizer. Solitaire randomizer.
How is there a randomizer for Devil's Crush, Steven? Devil's Crush is just a pinball game.
Ken Griffey Jr.'s Major League Baseball randomizer.
What? Major League Baseball randomizer?
Yeah.
How can you make a randomizer to baseball? It's a fucking sport.
Snowboard Kids randomizer.
Jesus Christ. No, you know what I want to see done? A Super Mario World randomizer. All the stages are mixed up. It's like whatever level you play, it's a different level in the game completely. Like you know how you start off on Dinosaur Island, Joey,
Yeah.
or Yoshi's Island, I should be saying. Instead, though, the first level of Yoshi's Island ends up being a level in Donut Plains instead. And then after you beat that, though, you do the Switch Palace, but it's not the same. But you do the Yellow Switch Palace, and instead of being the Yellow Switch Palace, it ends up being like either the red, the blue, or the red, the blue, or the green one instead. That would be something that could make a really awesome randomizer. A Super Mario World randomizer. Somebody, please make it happen.
Joe and Mac randomizer.
Even Yoshi's House, I can still see them, although they don't have to randomize Yoshi's House, though. Still, Yoshi's House could still be the same like the normal Super Nintendo game, but like I said, every other level in the game ends up being different. All the Ghost Mansion levels are all randomized up as well, so if you go to a Ghost Mansion, you may get like a different Ghost Mansion in the game completely. Somebody please make it happen. I would go for that. A Super Mario World randomizer.
Castlevania randomizer.
I don't know how that could be possible, Joey. How can you make a randomizer out of Castlevania? Castlevania is just, for the old Castlevania games, they just have a linear path, point A to point B. At least to me, if they could somehow pull off a randomizer out of Castlevania, I would go for that.
Star Fox 2 randomizer.
Star Fox 2 randomizer. Even though the game was never released, you want a randomizer for Star Fox 2.
Yes. Oh, it's E.T. randomizer.
The terrible game on the Atari 2600.
It's coming back.
No thanks.
Remastered edition. PS4. It's coming back.
And also randomizer.
Yep, it'll be a randomizer. That's
Somebody please shoot me.
Someone's here to fuck your stream up.
Who?
I don't know. I don't know who this person is. They said you fucked with their stream yesterday.
Oh dear. The Termin Army.
You fucked with these guys thing again. Ah, I'm a shot.
Get some beer, Joey. Get some beer, buddy.
Why?
It's gonna be one long night, buddy. Get yourself some beer. Just keep yourself up. It's gonna be one long night, buddy. Guys, I can definitely tell this is not Termina. I can just tell. Siddles, look at this, just for a minute. Yeah, Termin Army? Yeah. Please, go tell the real Termina that he can go suck a dick, because this is all I'm getting right now. Come on, make some excuse. I'd like to see what you're going to come up with. You make me laugh so hard right now that I want to lull to you right now. I'm not Termina, but I'm one of his fans. Oh, okay. Tell the real Termina that I wish for him to suck a dick, and by whose dick I mean his own. Thank you. I can't. I can't Termina Army. He dropped a bait hammer to me on his channel, so I can't leave anything. There's a reason I done that in the first place. But you're too much of a coward, so you send your minions over to his channel. Yeah, well, that was the reason why. I can't talk to Termina anymore, and apparently he still has me blocked on his channel, so I can't leave anything. Everybody, it's going to be one long ass night, so get yourself a beer or something right now.
You on the war?
Now, just in case nobody knows yet, though, I did get Crash Bandicoot The Insane Trilogy a few days ago. I finally got to play a little bit of the first game again, and I gotta say, I enjoy it. I had the game before originally on my PS3, and I might have said, though, originally I never did get to play the game. I actually did get to experience a little bit of the first game, but I never ever went as far as completing it. And sadly, in the end, I ended up deleting it for some other stuff. Apparently, though, the remake, though, is actually made by Activision. Not Naughty Dog, the original company that did that. They were also responsible for making the Uncharted games and also The Last of Us. Naughty Dog is still around today, still trying to make great games. I'm going to have a second beer, but don't ever tell me that I should be trying to get up to 8. It's just not going to happen. Hey, Arb, here's a drinking game you could play. I think it's, see if you can find a girl. I think it's supposed to be like, you and your girlfriend play a drinking game where both of you have to, like, get extremely drunk, and if you both get to the point where you're, like Arb, what kind of number do you feel? What number of beers would you have to drink till you get extremely drunk? Tell me right now. Probably like 6, 7, maybe 8. I don't know. I found this in the movie How to Be Single. I think it was called How to Be Single. 420. Jesus Christ. Come on, Arb. You can't be drinking that many beers to say you get extremely drunk. There has to be like a certain number, okay? Me, I really don't know. Even though I have been drinking beer for about a year now, though, I still don't know how many beers it takes for me until I'm like, get to the point of being drunk. Here's the thing, though, guys. If you have a girlfriend, you and your girlfriend have to, like, add up the number of beers, and if you could actually exceed that amount of beers, both you and your girlfriend have to make out. So, DiQuinton, you said 5, and your girlfriend can drink 6 until she gets drunk, DiQuinton. Then you and your girlfriend, DiQuinton, will have to make out. How's that for a drinking game? And to that, I drink to that. Start with no. You know what, Arb? I'm actually going to ease that down a bit and try it at least a 10. See how much it takes before I start feeling completely drunk. Now, there's another thing I should mention, though, when I got this game for PS4, guys. I also got myself the keychain, the Aku Aku keychain, guys. Here he is, still flickering around if I could just stay still. That's Aku Aku. In the first game, though, you would have hit the Aku Aku crate, and then Aku Aku would follow Crash wherever he goes. Basically be like an extra hit for Crash gets hit by something. Because for Crash, though, without Aku Aku, Crash would just take like one hit and then go down like a rock. Kind of like Shinobi, like the original arcade Shinobi game. You would only get hit only once by an enemy, and then Shinobi would fall to the ground like a rock. You guys, I would recommend you guys to play the original Shinobi game, because the original, the second stage, Joey, get this.
What?
Had pictures of Marilyn Monroe. You start the second level, and then there's like these 6 portraits on the wall filled with Marilyn Monroe. This stuff got edited out, though, when they put it on the Wii Virtual Console Arcade, which makes me scratch my head and say, why the hell did you do that, Nintendo? Or the people who did the version for the Wii? I don't know. I don't know if you can see me from the waist down, though. I am wearing pants, though, but I'm also walking around barefooted. I had some slippers on, but I'm not wearing them now. I still have one right on the table. Should I get the Crash Collection? I've never played them back in the day. Well, this was kind of the reason why I got the game in the first place as well, Quentin. It was just because I never got to experience Crash Bandicoot back in the 90s. Crash Bandicoot only started on the PlayStation before it went all over the place. Apparently I have the 4th game today now on the GameCube with Crash Bandicoot Purple Ripto's Revenge for Game Boy Advance, which I heard they tried making it like a crossover with Crash and Spyro the Dragon. I kind of thought Crash and Spyro were like in the same kind of universe, but that might have been just me back when I first thought of it too. But the Insane Trilogy, Quentin, yes, you should get the Insane Trilogy. It is awesome. Get the trilogy of the original 3 that were on the PlayStation, and on a new console like PlayStation 4 today, it's awesome. And I would definitely be playing it with this controller, guys, because this is what they, for the 20th anniversary, they made this. They went right back to the original PlayStation controller again. I would play Crash Bandicoot with this controller too. I will like some stuff. Well, here's the problem, though, Arb. I'm just afraid that if I get a PS1 and a PS2 emulator, they're going to run slow on this laptop. I'm already loaded up with enough gaming emulators on this thing. I got so many emulator files as well. You know, it's just all running off the hard drive, and eventually I'm just afraid that it's gonna affect the PlayStation and PS2 emulator. Now, if I did get a PS2 emulator, though, Arb, I would definitely want to get I would definitely want to get the arcade Outrun 2 game that was on the PS2 because I heard the Outrun 2, the sequel to Outrun on PlayStation 2 was awesome.
Go for it. Try getting a PS1 emulator.
I guarantee you will like some stuff. Emulators don't take a lot of space. Now, Arb, though, I am familiar though with some stuff on PlayStation. Like since I got the PS3, I was able to download some of the PS1 classics. I was able to finally experience Castlevania Chronicles and Castlevania Symphony of the Night. One of the best games ever on the PlayStation. Symphony of the Night being one of the best games on the PlayStation. Of course, though, Final Fantasy VII. Everybody would be all like, oh my god, Final Fantasy VII was the best Final Fantasy ever! Apparently, though, Watch Mojo made a video, though, saying, actually made a video about top games that did not go well with age, and Final Fantasy somehow got added into that list. It wasn't number one, though, so don't worry, though, guys. There was lots of worser games that went worse with age than Final Fantasy VII. So calm down, everybody. I don't want people to be coming all over here trying to give me shit about why the hell would you say that, Sega can't. Oh yeah. Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, Jumping Flash. I never heard of Jumping Flash, or even Siberia. I don't even know. I played FF7 for the first time a few years ago, and I thought it was amazing. Cool Borders 2. How about some Miss Pac-Man's Maze Madness, guys? It was on PlayStation more than N64. If some of you guys have seen my Twitch cast back in the day, you would know I played Miss Pac-Man's Maze Madness on the N64. The PlayStation port was actually a little better, though, guys. So maybe I may play the PlayStation port instead. Maybe the game might be a little better too, because all the cutscenes though that I watched on the N64 emulator, they were all like a big glitched up, jumbled up mess, and I could not read anything at all in the cutscenes. It kind of sucked. Oh, that's cool, Di Quinton. Maybe you got that for me on Steam. That would be awesome. FF7 on PC. Nice. Quinton, you should look in and see if it could use a plug-in and play controller. You know, like with the Logitech game controller I so happen to have. You know, stuff like this. Something like this, Ty Quinton. It's not a 360 controller, guys. Trust me. It has the Logitech logo in the center, and if it was a 360 controller, this D-pad and that control stick would be swapped. You can definitely tell it has a little bit of PlayStation in it, but also being mostly a 360 controller.
Today's special.
I played FF8 and FF10 on controller, so I think FF7 would work too. I actually downloaded FF9 on my PS3, Di Quinton. FF9 was on PS1, and I was able to actually play it, and I sort of enjoyed it.
Are there Final Fantasy games for Nintendo? I thought there was.
What?
Are there Final Fantasy games for Nintendo you played?
Well, I do know that there existed, well, the earlier ones, yes, Sneddles. You could play the earlier ones on the NES or the Super Nintendo. Although, then again, though, although most of them were only released in Japan. There were 6 that were actually made in Japan, but we only ended up with 3 out of the 6. The first game I know of was 1. The 4th game got released as FF2, and the 6th game got released as FF3. Thankfully, though, today now, though, I do have a DS port of the original FF3 now on DS. It took them more than 20 years to release the game. Like yeesh. I started playing FF9, but never played much of it. I was like that as well, Quinton. I just played a little bit of the game, and I'm like, yeah, this is not something I want to finish. You think I might like Dark Cloud 2, Arb? What about Dark Cloud 1? I never heard of the first Dark Cloud game. I couldn't get into 9 because I wasn't a fan of the character design. Okay. I guess FF9 was not a great big masterpiece like everyone was hoping it would. Yeah, the character designs are kind of whack, but I love the environment. The environmental design.
I like the Sesame Street game on DS. Pretty fun. Yeah, jump around as Big Bird on a pogo stick.
Wait, they never made a Dark Cloud 1 game? They just went right to 2? That's kind of really stupid. Like, just, oh, well, we're not going to bother releasing the first game, but we'll release a second game so everybody will play the sequel and not even give 2 shits if there's a Dark Cloud 1 game. That's like the same kind of bullshit like Bayonetta. I never heard of Bayonetta 1 until they announced it, the sequel for Wii U, and I'm thinking to myself, where the fuck happened to Bayonetta 1? Apparently, though, I heard now, though, that the first game was made for the PS3 and the 360, but the second game was being made directly to the Wii U, and I heard the sequel kind of sucked. Since of course, though, it was on a system that absolutely nobody was buying. I loved it 8, though. Dark Cloud 1 was BS. They released the 4th Star Wars movie first. Oh, yes, Quinton. I do know what you mean. Star Wars Episode 4 was the first one to be released. Although back then, though, if you watched it in theaters, Quinton, you would have noticed, though, it did not say Episode 4 A New Hope. It would just say Star Wars, and then the storyboard would come up. There would be no Episode 4 A New Hope at all. I know when the sequels came out, that would say Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back, and Episode 6, The Return of the Jedi. But George Lucas, though, would eventually go right back and would eventually do the prequel trilogy a few years later after re-releasing them again and finally adding that Episode 4, A New Hope, later. I would have been kind of pissed off with Nintendo back then as well, because I never got the Wii U until later. I think probably after a year of the Wii U not selling, I decided, you know what, maybe at least I should support Nintendo and get the Wii U. It was kind of true, guys. What do you guys think? I have this thing right here. I still want to support Nintendo and show that there is still some great games for this thing. It finally started selling when Super Smash Bros. And Mario Kart 8 started coming out. A little late in the Wii U's lifespan, but you know what though? Better than nothing, Nintendo. I at least give you some faith for trying. I quit Nintendo after N64 until the Switch came out. I should have stopped it after N6. I should have stopped it after Wii to begin with. Well, yeah, I kind of did anyway, though, with this, but I decided to go back to it. The Wii, though, was pretty good, too. You know, minus the Wii motion control bullshit on this stuff, though, they did have a Wii Virtual Console shop where you could actually download games and actually play them. This is where I was able to finally relive the TurboGrafx era of gaming again, because I was hoping, though, that someday my Uncle Paul would give me his TurboGrafx 16, and it was never going to happen. So I decided instead, I'll just get the games that I relived it back when I was a kid on the Wii Virtual Console. Yes, Nintendo N64 and GameCube were best. N64, we had Paper Mario, Zelda, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask. And the GameCube thing, though, that I can only remember off the top of my head, though, was just Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing was great on GameCube. I should at least give props for this thing, though, because if it wasn't for Wii, I would not have met my buddy Macho on Animal Crossing City Folk. That was actually a pretty good game, too. And Snails dropped out. I kind of forgot all about that. I lost track of them. I actually forget when Snails dropped out. Come on, there were way more better games than Animal Crossing. Yes, definitely Daiquatsu. Like Luigi's Mansion, Super Mario Sunshine. What else could I say that was great on N64 on Nintendo GameCube? Sadly, no Abba Zaba. I haven't seen Timmy NC yet, so I don't know. But you're free to hang out and, talk with the Sega Camp Gamer guys. It's going on to 11. I may as well keep the show going on for a few more minutes. I'll finally cut the show as soon as it hits 11, guys. Unless you guys want me to stay a little longer. I do have this set for 11:30, although I never did bother trying to go past 11:30 before. Well, I feel happy for Timmy making a return. Like, what happened to Timmy? Did his channel get terminated or something? Don't worry, I did not go far. I had the charge station just right past the table over here, so I just quickly walked off for not too far. Wind Waker, Metroid Prime, F-Zero GX, Super Mario Sunshine, Pikmin, Smash Bros. Melee, Twilight Princess, so much good shit. Oh, yes! And some of these I do remember. Wind Waker, Metroid Prime. I'm pretty sure if I pulled out my GameCube collection, guys, you'd be like, oh my god, Sega Camp has some of these classics for the GameCube. And yes, I did. I have Wind Waker, I had Twilight Princess, I had Metroid Prime, I had Smash Brothers Melee. I did not play Pikmin, though. Am I missing out, guys? I never ever played a Pikmin game a day in my life. And the GOAT Final Fantasy spinoff, Crystal Chronicles. Huh. Yes, I remember hearing about Crystal Chronicles on Game Boy, guys. I just did not mention it to Joey here. But yes, I am familiar with Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. Is that game good? I actually seem to happen to have you know what, though? Back when Nintendo had WiiWare demo-listed games on their WiiWare Virtual Console, they used to have them. Nintendo at least had WiiWare downloadable games, and I was lucky enough to at least play a demo to Pokemon Rumble on Wii. And after playing the demo, I decided to go get the game because the game was good. Has anybody ever played Pokemon Rumble? And I mean like the original game on the Wii Virtual Console. If I could somehow stream off of my Nintendo Wii, guys, I would definitely stream. That would be probably one of the first few games I would definitely stream off my Wii. Pokemon Rumble, guys. That was awesome. When we get to rank S, if we ever make it to rank S, guys, the very end, I think it's the very end of the Rocky Mountain area. There's these 6 areas though where you go through a forest, a meadow, a cave, a fiery furnace, a beach, and then a mystery tower or a mysterious tower thing. If we ever make it to rank S, if we make it to the end of the Rocky Cave, we end up battling Articuno. At the end of Fiery Furnace, we'll end up battling Moltres, and at the end of the Eternal Tower, I think it was called, we'll end up battling with Zapdos. And then if that is not enough, there's a battle royale after you clear all the 6 stages where it's like this big battle royale. You have to take out all the Pokemon, and you have to just be the only one that survives. If that is not enough, you have to battle the 3 legendaries again with Mewtwo. That's insane. We gotta play this game. It is awesome. You guys will enjoy it and be all like, oh my god, Pokemon goodness at its finest. Rank S is a beach, but doesn't have is okay, though. We actually end up battling a big ginormous Gyarados at the very end of the beach. I think, and of course, though, I think the only time, and of course, you don't befriend a boss, though, although after the first forest level you do in rank C, you battle an Ivysaur, and after you defeat the Ivysaur actually follows you for your lead to becoming the best trainer ever. That's the only time I see that ever happen, though. The rest of the game, though, every time you defeat a boss, you just get like a shit ton of gold just for doing that. I guess Nintendo knew they had something because they re-released it and they finally made another game for the 3DS called Pokemon Rumble Blast. It was a great game, but I never actually finished the end of the game. I got through most of it though, guys, but the end of the game was a little confusing. It got to the point where I just felt like where I did not feel like finishing it. Yes, I'm rolling up my sleeves, guys. I'm just getting a little hot in here. I'm keeping the tie on. I do need to go to the bathroom though for a minute though, guys. So give me like 1 second just to go to the bathroom. I'll be back. They've needed a traditional Pokemon game on a console forever. I'm definitely excited. I'm hyped for the new Pokemon game on the Switch. Yeah, Pokken Tournament DX. I never played Pokken Tournament back when it came out on the Wii U, and I'm not thinking of getting the game anytime soon. But I don't want anyone to start about trying to shove down my throat that I should play the DX remake on the Nintendo Switch. I'm just not that interested, guys. I'm sorry. The only time you would ever see me playing a Pokemon game is if they ever did make like another Pokemon Rumble game for the Nintendo Switch. I would definitely go for another Nintendo Rumble, another Pokemon Rumble. I would definitely go for like another Pokemon Rumble game if it ever happened for the Nintendo Switch. I would definitely go for that because I played the first game on the Wii U Virtual Console and it was awesome. I also played. I guess I should say though, I also got a chance to play a Castlevania game on WiiWare. You won't be able to play this game ever on PlayStation, on your PS3 or your Xbox, and it was called Castlevania: The Adventure Rebirth. My God, a remake of the original Game Boy Castlevania Adventure game on Game Boy. Oh my God, it is so much better than the original Game Boy game. I actually beat the game only once and finally made it to Dracula. You battle Dracula at the very end of the game. I probably would not bother playing it today because because every time you start the game though, you hear a little bit of Vampire Killer, you get all excited, and then it changes to something else. Like the stage number show up, you hear da 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 da, and then it finally switches to something else, and it's just like, oh come on, what the fuck, Capcom or Konami? I mean, they just have that Vampire Killer theme for like a cog tease for the beginning of every level, and it is in the game. And it only plays when you go against them, and it only plays for like the final stage up until you battle Dracula. That's bullshit. What the fuck, Konami? Hang on a sec. I need to go read the chat here again. Chris Chronicles was a great game, Quentin. I've been waiting for a sequel for 10 years. It's a great hit, but had this dumb shit where you had to hook up the Game Boys for multiplayer. I hyped for the new Pokemon game on Switch. They needed a traditional game on a console forever. So you won't be interested in this Pokemon game Quentin is talking. Yeah, I'm afraid not, Steven. This new Pokemon tournament game that they're coming out with for the Nintendo Switch doesn't really do it for me. I rather just, like I said, I rather hope for another Pokemon Rumble game for Nintendo Switch. That's something I would definitely go for. Even if people started criticizing it for motion controls, because you know those two little peripherals now though that you could use. If Nintendo starts making some sort of gimmick where they have to use all that motion stuff in the game, and people start criticizing on it, I would still play the game no matter what. I'll just say fuck the people that think the motion controls I'm gonna need to be taken away or be stripped of, because I would still play the game for that. No, not Pokken. What? Okay, what game are we talking about then, Quentin and Steven? It's supposedly a main Pokemon game, like the RPG games. Oh, are you meaning it's like it plays? Are you saying it's a console Pokemon game, but it plays like the handhelds where you have to get the Pokemon to gain experience and then learn new moves and finally make them evolve into other Pokemon? So far, I never seen a Pokemon. I never did see Game Freak do a game like that though for a console. There was like even as well though. I'm getting flashbacks right now of Pokemon Stadium right now, and Pokemon Stadium 2, where they just had all the roster Pokemon, and they would give them all specific kinds of moves that probably they would play, but it was never really but it was never like the actual games on the Game Boy though, where you just explore, you go into random battle encounters, you battle the Pokemon, you defeat it, and then you gain experience. I never seen the games being like that. And announced that they were developing one for the Switch at E3. Cool. Because even as well though, we guys are already familiar with Pokemon Go, right? Pokemon Go could have played a little bit like the games, but the only thing that sucks is every time you get a new Pokemon, you're not really battling it though like the game. You're just flickering a Pokeball at the thing. You're just flickering a Pokeball and hoping to God that you capture the thing, because I don't know. It's not like the games though. It was never ever like the game, so where you just have to go into a battle with one of your own Pokemon and then just weaken it down until you can capture it. No, they never played it out like that. Now it's just flick a Pokeball and hope for the best. Jesus Christ. Niantic, you fucked that up perfectly. You fucked that up perfectly. Next time, Niantic, you make another Pokemon game for phones, make it be like the games where you have to battle a Pokemon, where you have to weaken it down first. Yeah, that's another thing that's also bullshit. Like, they showed in the commercial that you could battle with other trainers. Yet though in the game you can't really do that. What the hell? Haven't they updated it now to include some PvP feature? Well, I would not be able to answer that question, Steven, even though apparently though I don't really have the game. I would not be able to answer that kind of question, I'm afraid. What's up with that, Sega? Oh, here we are talking about Pokemon. It should be the 4th of July. Everybody celebrate. It's the 4th of July. Yay! Sorry for changing the subject so rapidly. I better just tone it down a bit, though, guys, because it is after 11 p.m. here, and I don't want to be getting kicked out of my own apartment just before going to bed tonight. That would suck, guys. Well, yeah, it is. I know, Quentin. I'm kidding. Well, I see it's after 11 p.m., so I think I'm going to wrap the show up and probably play some Crash Bandicoot. I'll see what you guys say first. If you guys want me to go for like another few more minutes, I could probably go for a few more minutes, but I do plan to be wrapping up the show right about now. Like I said, guys, I want to go on my PlayStation 4 and play some Crash Bandicoot, the Insane Trilogy. It's going to be, I'm looking forward to getting myself dive right back into what nostalgia was like for the guys that played it back on the PS1. Although I am kind of a little triggered, I am a little pissed off that it has to be Activision remaking this whole game, considering it used to be Naughty Dog. I would understand if if Activision did this because Naughty Dog went out of business. But you know what though, Naughty Dog is still around today. Like they're still making Uncharted and The Last of Us, but instead instead though they just I think they gave like the rights to the first 3 games to Activision and said, here you go, Activision, remake these games and finally release them for the PS4. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, I see no one. They have to make more Uncharted games. Well, they already did do a 4th game, Dyke Quinton. And the crazy thing is, they had to have Drake playing a game on PlayStation. I think he was playing the first Uncharted game on the on the new one. That is actually crazy. I want more news on the Jack and Dexter remix. I hope they do make a new Jack and Dexter game too. Although I never really played Jack and Dexter, guys. Maybe I'm kind of missing out on something here. Maybe I should have played. What's that guy that looks like Tintin? He has a smile and he goes like, "Who's that guy?" I forget his. I can't remember the name off the top of my head right now. Just I know it has. I know the guy looks like Tintin and he goes like, "Oh, you are totally missing out." Yeah, I guess I am, Dyke Quinton. Somebody help me out here. What's that game I'm talking about? Oh, Fallout. They made a new Fallout game just for the PS4. Fallout 4. That's what I'm looking for. Oh yes, yes, Steven. That's what I meant. Fallout. Maybe am I missing out on Fallout as well, guys, or do you think I'm not missing much? I did hear though that the new Fallout 4 game was hype. Everybody was getting the new Fallout game just for Fallout 4, so maybe no, it came out on PC as well. Okay, maybe I can actually play it on PC and get away with it. I do have a controller after all, guys. I still have this. This thing is still being in my collection, and I hope not to God it breaks down to me like I did after my other one. I had one that was wired, lasted me only 7 months, guys. Thankfully, this thing has been holding out for a year, even though I originally did not really Twitch cast it until, again, here in September and October of last year. I thought Fallout 4 was pretty good. I'm sure it was. I thought Fallout 4 was pretty good. Okay. Maybe I could get away with getting Fallout 4 here on PC. If possible, guys. I'd be surprised though. I'd be surprised. I haven't really done a lot of PC gaming since the 90s. So I really don't know what kind of games on consoles make their way to PCs. Do you guys know some of the stuff that's made its way to PC? Don't be afraid to let me know. Get it on PS4. Maybe I will, Quinton. But like I said, if I do get it for PS4, though, I'll have to find some sort of way to, capture the footage from PS4 to a computer. And I really don't know how to get past that problem yet, guys. I'm still trying to figure out this dilemma. I probably don't even want to anyway. I apologize, guys. I used to have the little, I used to have a Dazzle. I had a Dazzle, but the only problem with the Dazzle was they were asking me for little signal splitters that I had to plug into the Dazzle. One end had to go back into the TV, and the other end had to hook up to your consoles. The signal would then go through the console, into the Dazzle, and back onto your TV again. You can live stream directly from PS4, but here's the thing. I live streamed it before in the past, even. It turned out bad. I do not want to go back down that route ever again. If my old channel was still if my old channel's videos were still up, I would show you guys the broadcast where I played, where I streamed it right from my PS4, and the videos turned out bad. I put them all on private though, I think afterwards, and I never did bother sharing them with anybody ever again, just to show you. And yeah, it was bad, Steven. There's a reason I never ever want to try and stream it off my PS4 ever again. Oh, about probably a minute in, though, the signal would just go blank. Just imagine this without a video. It would just be like this all of a sudden. You would not see anything at all. And you might be joking and thinking to yourself, though, okay, maybe the signal may come back. Oh, trust me, it did never, ever come back. Maybe my cousin has a better connection than me. I don't know. I just couldn't seem to get I just had a really weak connection when I tried doing it. And that's just something I never ever want to go back to ever again. You would still hear me, yes, but you would not see any game footage at all on the screen. It would only be until I catched on in the chat that people would be saying about Sega Camp. I can't see the game. So there's just no point ever trying to do it ever again, guys, and I apologize. If I'm gonna have a terrible signal off my PS4, I'm just not gonna do it. Period. Well, I think that this is where I'm gonna go call it quits, guys. I think this is where I'm gonna call it quits for the evening, guys. I took the tie off. I got the jacket now. It's getting a little hot in here. I'm gonna wrap the show up for now. I can go play some Crash Bandicoot on PS4. It's pretty intensive with graphics and stuff. So if you don't have a decent machine to run it, then it's probably not worth it. I have to agree, Steven. But anyway, though, guys, as always, thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you guys later. And if you're new to this channel, there's a button right there to subscribe. There's a playlist over there to go check out the acapella playlists. And as always, guys, subscribe. I'll see you guys later.